Hey, so I thought I would jump on and do a little bit of a catch up with everyone. Um, First off, I'm already having kind of planner thoughts on how I can use and improve my setup, of course, already. And it's only, what, the second week at this point of the new year. I'm kind of wanting to not make too big of a change, but still a big enough change and a bit of a commitment. Um, I want to have my weeks possibly separate from my journaling, but in the same book. Right now, I set up my weeks at the beginning of the week, usually on a Sunday night, and then the pages following that I use freely for journaling, and then I set up the week again, and it goes like that. But I sometimes don't complete all the pages like I want, and then I feel like I could have utilized that page if only I still had last week, if that makes any sense. Um, so that's why I'm thinking of kind of separating my weeks more clearly. I'm not too sure how I'm going to do that yet. As of right now, I've set up the rest of this month all at once. All the weekly pages are in one spot all together, and then all the pages after that I'm using for journaling and other things. And then at the beginning of next month, I'm going to see how I feel and if I'm going to make changes on what I'm going to do with the week and the journal situation. Also, I'm not too sure what I want to do with these videos. I do enjoy these kind of body doubling videos, making them, I mean, and even watching them myself. I put them on. They're quite relaxing and give me a little bit more company when I'm working on things. But I don't know what I want to do, how I want to structure them. I'm just not sure. And if people like talking, I'm not very good at the talking stuff yet. Maybe in time I'll get better, but right now I don't know how to do it. Like I know how, but I don't know how I want to structure things and make things better. So if people have ideas, leave them down below and help me improve and grow. Also, I've been drawing a little bit throughout the day. I don't get time to film it because I'm usually doing it a little at a time while the kids are awake and playing. So I don't necessarily do it at night, but I do want to put that back on routine a little bit more. And I'm also thinking about setting up another A6 binder because I got the binder that I use for my trackers and brain dumping. It came in a pack of 2, and I want to use the other one for my writing projects, but I'm not too sure how I'm going to do that yet. Because I want to use my writing projects and my drawing and kind of combine them now. And I'm doing a lot of research on how I want to do that and convey my stories. So maybe later this week I'll get a better idea of what I want to do with that. Hey, so I thought I would jump on and explain what I'm doing here, um, because it's kind of out of the blue and, and a little bit random, I guess. But I am setting up a kind of writing binder for my storytelling. Um, Kind of like a space where I have my world that I've created, a few different characters, and like the rules of the world and whatnot, and ideas on how I can use these little stories, and how I make these little stories. I haven't really shared, but I've been writing for almost a year, maybe. But I've always made up stories, but I've never written them until maybe a year ago or something like that. I think it was in the spring last year. I decided to try writing. But when I was a little kid, I would make up stories about fantastical things. For example, I would see like an interesting house or a neat looking tree or an interesting hill, and I'd make up a story about who lives there, what they're like. Usually kind of fantastical in nature. Like I said, like they could be like a fairy or a little goblin, something like that. So I still do that um, as an adult, and I have a whole bunch of like little stories, and I want to turn my little stories into illustrations somehow. Maybe I think it might be the best way to share them, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but it is something I kind of do want to work on. So I'm setting up this binder. Um, and the pages that I made for it is ideas on what I can do with my little stories. Also, the world logic, so that way they make some type of sense in their own little imaginary family of stories, and a few different characters, and it's really simple, nothing too thrilling and deep. How I made these pages is actually quite simple. I spent all day yesterday writing and getting them out, and nicely written on my phone while I was doing other errands and whatnot. So that's why I don't have any footage of that, and it would be really boring. And then I made a template on Apple Pages, and so I can fold it in half and just tape it and hole punch it, and I didn't have to do math and do double-sided, and the pages are nice and sturdy. So that's what I did to make them. That is something I might do for my other binder, for my tracking and um, uh, brain dumping binder. I might make pages like this sometimes. It works out so nice, and my writing is so messy so most of the time. So yeah, I might do that again. If you have questions or are curious about how I make up my stories, maybe I can make a video explaining it better later at some point. But if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll try and explain.